In the wintertime, most days feel like this. And my favorite way to escape is with a good book, because it always makes me feel like this.
Really close to home for me. Oh, no. What? I knew it! Today's been going a little rough. It's barely morning. It's about 11:30 and I just got out of bed. I'm getting over like the flu, so I've kind of been out of it for the last few days. But anyways, this morning I want to start reading Beartown by Fredrik Backman. I just recently got it at the used bookstore and it's so like winter vibes, so I'm excited to get into it despite hating winter vibes. I recently read My Friends a few months ago and it was a 6-star read. So I'm really excited to read more of Fredrik Backman's books because I feel like they're gonna be right up my alley. And also on Goodreads, these are like averaging like 4.3 stars. That's crazy. Let's grab the book, maybe some tea, and let's start reading. A little awkward angle, but that's okay. So we have my lunch, inspired by IKEA and Swedish people around the globe. I'm gonna eat lunch, drink my tea, and hop into Beartown by Fredrik Backman. I'm 37 pages into Beartown and I thought I'd sit down and tell you my first impressions because I'm really loving the opening to this book. So we're introduced to a crap ton of characters in the beginning. I'm gonna go over them quick. So there's Amat, and his mom's name starts with an F. Okay? She's the cleaner of the rink, and then Amat is her son who plays hockey at the rink every morning to train, and he like has the passion and the drive, okay? And then we also have Kevin, who's kind of like the star of the show for the junior team, and he's moving up to the A team. And everyone's like, when Kevin gets to the A team, you know, he's gonna get chosen to go to the NHL and he's gonna have this big career, and finally Beartown will get the recognition that it needs. And then we also have the general manager, the president, and then one other guy, which they all recruiting the boys and making sure they're playing hockey well and getting them sponsorships and getting the money to fund the rink, which subsequently funds the entire town because they are living in a hockey town. And then there's also Kira, who is the general manager, Peter's wife, and she is a lawyer and she's unhappy living in Beartown because she feels like she was made for so much more. And then we also have Peter and Kira's children, who are Leo and Maya. And there's an old man named Soon who also works with the GM, but he's about to lose his job. And he's kind of put his like heart and soul into hockey and he doesn't really know what to do. That was kind of like a really intense opening because you're trying to remember all these names and who they are and what they do. I am just in love with Fredrik Backman's writing style. This is so incredibly well written and I feel like really portrays the importance of hockey in this town. Like, I thought Beartown was giving like Northern Ontario vibes, but apparently not, because one of the characters moved to Canada to play for the NHL. So I think they're somewhere in Sweden. I'm just guessing that because Fredrik Backman is a Swedish author. Growing up in my hometown, like hockey was huge. This story, it feels really close to home for me, especially like the winter landscape, the small town. Hey, I also wanted to pop in and say that I think this book is hitting home for me so much because I live in a small town in like Northern Ontario, and we've had a couple people like go pro and go to the NHL, and it's always been like a big deal. And so I feel like the vibes of Beartown are very similar to the vibes of my hometown. It's really like you can feel the momentum of the town building up these kids and making sure that they make it to the big leagues because it has such an important role in their community. And I am just freaking loving this book, okay? Despite the brain power needed to get all these characters off the checklist and to remember who they are and what they do, I'm absolutely immersed in this story, and the stakes are really high to begin with, especially from my own personal standpoint. I'm like, I get it. Like, this is important for a lot of people. And I feel like I'm most invested into Amat and his mother's storyline. They're really low income, and Amat wants to make it to the big leagues to like make sure his mother never has to work another day in her life, which is so wholesome, really sweet. I am just absolutely loving this book so far. Fredrik Backman just like pulls at your heartstrings so well. Like, he's so good at doing that. Hello, it's later. It's probably like 8:30 right now. I have been continuing to read Beartown, and I am on page 103, I believe. And we've been introduced to some additional characters, and we've seen more of Ahmet. He's been given an opportunity to play with the juniors, and it's really exciting. We've also been introduced into more of Kira's life and Kira and Peter's family life, which was really insightful, and I'm excited to see where the rest of this book goes. Next day, same shirt. The best thing about winter is cozy foods, and I have been eating a lot of soups and stews, but particularly a beef stew. Right on my alley. That looks so delish. Dang. It looks kind of bad, but it does taste good. Sometimes when I eat stew, I think I'm like, well, what's his name, Jack? I think I'm like the guy from the Outdoor Boys YouTube channel, where he's like out in the cold eating delicious food. Like, that's how I feel every day, yo. Bad news. So I just got to the end of chapter 21 of Beartown, and unfortunately I'm gonna have to put down this book. I need like good vibes reading right now, and something that happened in the plot that just happened is not good vibes at all. I definitely think I'll pick it up another time, like when I'm in a better emotional state, but right now, like, the topic just got so incredibly heavy, and I'm really not ready for that. Honestly, I just need to mood read right now, and that is not the vibe. Definitely look up the content warnings before you read Beartown. Don't be like me, who did not. I'm gonna put that book down, and I'm going to pick up Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. I absolutely love Riley Sager. I've read 2 of his books now, and this is the 3rd. And Lock Every Door, I feel like, got pretty popular. So I'm actually really excited to get into this book. I love a good thriller. Really looking forward to this. And I know going into it that it's gonna have darker themes because it is a thriller, but it's not gonna rip my soul out like I know Fredrik Backman would. I love Riley Sager, so this is probably gonna be a walk in the park. So we have a new addition to my room, and it is in fact vibiness. Prepare to see that a lot. Okay, I have an update. I am literally like 50% of the way through Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. This book literally reads so well. It's so fast paced. I think it's because I was just like such in the mood for a thriller. Basically, our main character Jules gets a job opportunity to work for the Bartholomew, which is like a super expensive rich mansion, and she is hired on as a apartment sitter. So she basically occupies apartments between the actual residents. And then that night she hears a scream, and then her neighbor, who is also an apartment sitter, goes missing. Honestly, really excited to finish it because I have no idea where it's going in probably the best way possible. Here I have leftover Jell-O cheesecake that my coworker made. This is gonna be so good. It's the next morning, and I am on chapter 32, aka page 300 and aka page 230. I have about 130 pages left of the book and I really want to finish it today because it's getting so freaking good. Yeah, right. They obviously have his phone and are reading his text. You have so much evidence now. Oh! A witness to their craziness. She's gotta get down 12 flights of stairs. Oh crap. He was like, I'm sorry, they were gonna murder my daughter. Ah, that's valid. No way. No way. No! I knew it! Okay, I just finished Lock Every Door by Riley Sager, and I liked the little twist of a twist at the end. Finishing this book was really satisfying. I feel like I finished this book really quick. Every time I read it, it kind of like flew by. Like I was like, oh my gosh, 100 pages down. I still have no idea what book I'm going to pick up next, but I might meander onto my bookshelf. Welcome to the bookshelf. Thought about it, and I think I'm going to go with Normal People by Sally Rooney. And I am a little intimidated to get into it because of the whole like, I don't do quotations. But I think it'll be totally fine. And I think maybe it's some sort of romance, but I'm pretty sure it's just contemporary. But I am excited to get into this because I've heard so much about it and a bunch of raving reviews. I want to pick it up and see if it lives up to the hype. Hey, it's been a bit. I took a shower. I'm feeling good. It's also a lot later. It's now about like 4 o'clock. So I started up Normal People by Sally Rooney and I'm really liking it so far. I didn't realize how situationshipy it is in the beginning. I am liking our main character, Marianne. I'm not like obsessed with Connell. He's really not my favorite. Like he's just kind of like a guy. I don't know. I'm on page 69 and hopefully I can get a good way through today. My game plan is to cook supper and put on the audiobook for the rest of today, and then hopefully I can pick up the physical copy later tonight. So let's get cooking. It is the next evening. Last night I put on the audiobook and I got really far through the book. I feel like I got to 70%-ish. I'm really enjoying the audiobook over the physical copy just because the physical copy is very... There's no quotation marks. We went over this. I find with the audiobook, it just sounds like any other book because the person who is doing the audiobook narration is interpreting dialogue as they go, so I don't have to interpret it. Maybe it's a cop-out, I don't really know. But anyways, I'm really enjoying the audiobook, so I think tonight I'm gonna finish the audiobook so then I can review it for you guys in the morning along with all the other books I read. I don't understand. What? I don't understand. Sally, why would you do this to me? Can I get a part 2 or an epilogue or something? Why? Welcome to review time. So the first book I want to talk about briefly is Beartown by Fredrik Backman. Unfortunately, due to the content warnings, which I did not read, which I think you should read. Going into this, I thought it would be more lighthearted. Turns out something crazy happens. So I think I'm gonna pick this up later in the year and hopefully it'll have a redemption arc. Like I got 180 pages in and they flew by. They were so great, but then this plot point happened and I'm just like, I need to put the book down because I don't want to put myself through all this emotional turmoil reading this. This is like a soft DNF. Like I'm gonna pick it up later, I know it, but right now it's just not for me. So next up, we're moving on to Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. Lock Every Door was a pretty decent thriller. The last Riley Sager book I read was The House Across the Lake. Really enjoyed that one. 10 out of 10. The plot developments were like very fast paced. With this one, it felt a little flat because the plot development was sort of the same thing, uncovering the same types of clue, the same types of material up until maybe the 80% mark. And that's when the ball started rolling. We got major developments in plot, and we learned a lot more about characters and a lot more about the situation that was actually like startling, shocking, thrilling. But leading up to it, it was kind of like, oh, we found this tiny clue. Oh, we found another tiny clue. Oh, we found another tiny clue. And at the same time, like, she's living in this place that she feels so uncomfortable living in. And I am just like, the obvious choice is to leave. I guessed the big twist, the first big twist. I didn't guess the second big twist, but that was cool. The twist was like maybe a 4 out of 5, but the story in this book was sort of dragged. Our main character, Jules, I feel like as a rational person, I would do nothing that she did in this situation, aside from like looking for her friend. Her staying in this creepy mansion where her friend was possibly abducted from, that I wouldn't do. Meanwhile, her best friend offered her a place to stay, was sort of like, why wouldn't you take your friend's opportunity to live with her while you think you're in immediate danger? Other than that, the thrilling aspects were good, but not great. So overall, I'm giving this a solid 3 stars. And next up, we have Normal People by Sally Rooney. I don't even know how to get into this. Okay, so first and foremost, Normal People by Sally Rooney is about a situationship between Marianne and Connell. Connell is like this star-studded guy in high school, plays for the football team, he's super popular, blah blah blah, and he's secretly hooking up with Marianne, who no one likes in the school. She's picked on, she's bullied, she's been an outcast all through her high school years, and no one seems to like her except for Connell behind closed doors. My first main issue with this is that Connell only likes her behind closed doors. I can't really be rooting for a man who's embarrassed to be with you. Like, I cannot. But I see the reason why Sally Rooney wrote the characters this way and how they started out. Anyways, flash forward into the future, they meet up again. It's like the tables have turned. Marianne is super popular in college. She has a lot of artistic and cool friends, and Connell now feels like an outcast. They reconcile, meet again, hook up, and then break it off. And that's basically how the entire book goes. They hook up, they break it off. They hook up, they break it off. I think it was written in a really meaningful way that like this felt so real. They were just normal people. Like, I get it, Sally Rooney, normal people. I just really didn't understand why Connell was such a coward when it came to Marianne and how he couldn't speak up for himself. But I realized at the end of the book that he had been dealing with anxiety and depression, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm clocking you, Connell. I'm clocking you. I'm standing on business. I really enjoyed Marianne as a character. I felt that she was very relatable to me in the sense of her being an outcast, not fitting in, and then, you know, growing into herself, but then still having those drawbacks. I thought she was a very well-developed character. I really enjoyed reading her grow as a person. Actually, I am redacting this statement. I thought about it a little more, and I realized Marianne's character did not change at all. She kind of got worse in the end. I don't even know. I am very conflicted on this book. Overall, Normal People by Sally Rooney is getting a TBD for now. By the time I'm editing this video, I'm sure I'll have a place for this. And it was just so accurate to people. And like, I'm not a big fan of people, but I am a big fan of how she portrayed it so accurately. Like, I'm so conflicted. I don't know what to do. Future Phoebe, pop in here. Let me know what you're thinking. Okay, I think I'm gonna give it a 3.5 stars because I don't know if I'd recommend it to anyone. We're just gonna leave it at that. I'm still conflicted, but we're just gonna leave it at that. And with that, thank you so much for watching till the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed, and make sure to like, comment, subscribe, do whatever you need to do. Follow me along in my book reading journey. And with all that being said, have a wonderful day. Bye, guys.